Passive home cooling. The climate of the Philippines is characterized mainly by high temperatures or abundant rainfalls throughout the years. The temperature in the land can get from 21 degrees in the colder months to as high as 40 degrees in the hotter months. The cost and maintenance of cooling appliances weighs heavily on our wallets, and with this in mind, we should look for alternatives like passive home cooling. Passive home cooling is the least expensive means of cooling your home. It focuses on controlling heat gain and heat dissipation of your house with little to no energy consumption. Instead, it uses a variety of designs and scientific methods to improve indoor temperature. These are some of the pros of passive home cooling. It minimizes energy consumption and saves money in the long run because the uptime of cooling appliances will be lower. In terms of overall cost, it is the least expensive cost in terms of cooling your house and it is the least harmful in environmental effects. Meanwhile, the cons are the initial upfront cost could be higher since you need to design and plan accordingly to apply the right passive home cooling methods right for your area. Weather conditions in your locality can affect the rate of cooling, like for example, if the outside temperature is 30 degrees, you can't expect your indoor temperature to lower as much as 20 degrees. And lastly, cooling is not instantaneous compared to air conditioning, since it relies on natural air breezes to circulate the air. Main element design for passive cooling. House orientation. This is an important element since direct sunlight and wind breeze can affect your house temperature. You should strategically orient your house so your windows receive the least amount of direct sunlight but receives the optimal amount of natural breeze that will lower your indoor temperatures. The next element of design is ventilation. With the windows properly oriented, it is important to design your house so that it will guide the wind through your house to maximize heat dissipation. A proper ventilation system greatly helps in cooling down your house during sweltering summer days. Next is vegetation. Shrubs and trees reduces the area of direct sunlight hitting your house and provides a cool shade as well as lower their local environmental temperature throughout their natural process of evaporation throughout the day. The next element is insulation. Proper insulation will keep heat out from the blazing sun in the day. This is especially effective in ceiling insulations where the radiant barriers effectively reflect thermal radiation out and helps with heat conduction, keeping the heat out. So it is best to invest in these at the start. The next element of design is windows. If you can't provide direct sunlight from hitting your windows, having tinted windows is the next best thing that you can do to lower your indoor temperatures. It keeps heat out as much as possible while still being clear and see through. The last but not the least is the correct paint colors. You can dramatically reduce your house's heat absorption by painting your house with light colored paints instead of the dark ones. Light colored paints effectively reflects back sunlight, therefore absorbing much less heat. Studies have shown that white painted roofs will have a cooler interior as most of the sun's ray is reflected out. A good case example of passive home cooling is from a YouTuber with a channel named Philippine Dreams. He have installed passive home cooling methods to lower his house interior temperature. He added ceiling insulations to reflect as much thermal radiation as possible. He planted shrubs and trees to provide cooling shades for his house. He also painted the house with light colors to reflect sunlight back out, and he built a nipa shade to keep his windows out of direct sunlight to keep the heat out. And after the passive home cooling methods were installed, His interior house temperature dropped a couple degrees and made his home much more comfortable. That is all. Thank you. Here are the references of my video.